Yeah. All right. Okay.
Well, I don't know where that.
Don't know what happened there, but thank you for the new pause feature inside of.
Hello again.
Hello again. So, okay. So, say for instance, you're out with your friends, guys trip, girls trip, doesn't matter, but you're without your significant other.
Yeah.
And you decide to take that opportunity and step out of your relationship. And your friends that are there on that trip with you know your significant other.
Mm-hmm.
At what point do your friends, is there even ever a place as a friend that you can go back to the significant other and be like, it's time to go?
Are these friends or are these acquaintances?
I guess it really doesn't matter to me. I mean, it's like
it doesn't matter to you, but it matters to the situation. Are these friends or are they acquaintances?
At
Because
this
if
point,
they
I
are
would
not,
call them friends.
if they are not close to you or your family, then are they ever going to feel obligated to say anything? Probably not. If they're pretty close to your family, I would have guessed that it's going to come out somewhere.
Yeah.
Honestly, and even in this way, like you're close with the wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, that husband told the wife about it. Where's the wife coming to the wife?
That's what I'm getting at. Is it's like, why?
Even if it's not the guy who said that he beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And even even with those words being said, tells me that the guy should have came to you then.
Right.
But I know 100% for sure that he went right to his wife. When he got home, I had to kick this guy's ass because this is what I witnessed. And oh my God. And then where's the emergency in her?
Well, at that point in time, they weren't together. At least I don't recall.
Where would the emergency be in the spouse to deliver it to you?
Right. Yeah, the accountability within that organization is astonishing to me. And I told you like the way of which I was like, wait a minute. Like once I played it back, like why are you not whistleblowing it? Why are you not holding the stature of your organization?
Yeah.
So there was a lot for me to digest in just that
It doesn't really
4-hour time frame. But
I know it matters to you to heal, but it doesn't really matter. People are going to do what people are going to do. And I'm talking about every person in that situation, not just one person.
Yeah.
They all took different stances in their own ways to not deliver any of the information to you. Everyone played an individual part.
Mm-hmm.
To keep it out of your.
Not only that, but to keep me in danger.
Yeah.
And that plays. Like my eyes are so much more open from that conversation. Because it's like, you guys have no idea the danger that I lived through. You have no idea the danger that Hannah lived through. Like, it's by God's grace and God's will that I'm still standing. Because I can account at least 4 times that I should not be here. At least 4. And maybe his conversation of knowledge could have saved Hannah some mental damage because I would have removed us from that situation. Like, I know you can go back and say, what if and what if and what if. It's just when you're on the other side of it and you've done the work that I've done, you look at situations differently because I've lived it. And if I'm aware of something sketchy going on in somebody else's life, you're damn right I'm going to find a way to speak up.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to just speak up on hearsay. I'm not going to just speak up on, I heard a rumor. No, if I witnessed something myself, it makes it a little different. And I just, It's just been sitting different.
People will people will actually look down on you for delivering that information
I
because
agree.
they don't want it to be true. And so I think that plays a part, not that I'm giving an excuse to anybody, but I think that that plays a part in people wanting to not wanting to deliver such kind of information because they don't want to get in the middle of relationship or whatever.
Mhm.
But whenever there is something so severe happening, how can you sit back and be quiet? Like, understand that you don't want to be in the middle of it,
Yeah.
but how can you also just sit back knowing you know that happened and you're going to go to bed at night knowing that that happened? You don't have a problem with it. I don't think that's a friend.
Yeah. I don't know. Just
To
weird.
me, that is an acquaintance. That is not a friend. That is not somebody that values you or your life.
Yeah, it was just a really weird situation and really weird knowledge to have. And and honestly, it brought back like flashbacks almost, like of imagery and words and feelings and like body temperatures and like just I don't know, just it was super weird. I wasn't expecting it. And if not then why now?
Yeah. I mean, what's the point of it now?
Doesn't do me any good.
Would it have done you any good then?
I think it would have.
And then you have to look at yourself or look at the situation and go mm, and really ask that question again. Would it have done me any good then? Or is there a purpose why I didn't find out then?
I'm sure there's a purpose, absolutely. But it's and there's always like there's a reason that person came back, right? Into my life for that short window, for that event. Like there's a reason, right?
Yeah.
And there's a
And delivered closure on
on something.
something.
Yeah, yeah. So I get it. There's in order to process through all of it, you have to go through this whole thing. Like you have to go through and process it like why'd you say something and and then work through like what you just said just now of like okay, but how would it have played out then and like like going through that whole like
Yeah.
part of it. So, yeah.
I think it's important to play out, if not somewhat reenact the deed and how many different directions it could have went had it not gone the direction that it did.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a reason that you don't know or that you didn't know when it happened
Yeah.
for whatever protection's sake needed to be in place for whatever reaction you could have given that could have sparked off something else.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different things that could have altered getting here.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. And God has a plan and a purpose and a drive and everything else. It's just like it almost felt like insult to injury.
Yeah.
Though cuz it just
Just slap you in the face with something else.
yeah, because why? Why am I going to be
Mhm.
there again? It's just one of those like I said in the very beginning when I started explaining all of this is how many times can it be delivered to me that I was never valued?
Are my eyes blue?
Told you they're beautiful this evening.
Hey, girl.
So them ladies gonna be hitting on you.
Mm-mm. What color your eyes is?
Always brown.
Why is that?
It's the color God gave me.
Mm. Mm.
Hmm.
So what else has been going on?
Just work. What's going on with you?
Just work.
Yeah, just work.
It's a pretty broad statement.
Just hard work, man. Just
Well, I think there's been a couple of other things going on other than work.
okay. Shoot.
Tell us about your Jeep.
Oh, can we not? She's pink.
Pink.
Yeah, I did a short little like blip it of it because we hadn't really like talked, like we talked about it on here, but on like the socials we hadn't really talked about the Jeep.
Yeah.
But back in June we did a hail claim. She got beat up pretty good. She got beat up pretty good with hail, and she needed to go get. She needed to go get, she had some hail damage. She had to go get some dents popped out, some cellulite removed. Um, So we sent her off, and she was wrapped with my second favorite color. She was wrapped in turquoise, beautiful wrap that I had designed back in 2019 when I bought Betty White. And that's her name, by the way. And so repairing the hail damage, they needed to take the wrap off. And we were like, hey, okay, we leaving the wrap on, wrap off. Like it was just this big thing, right? Well, we've been dealing with Progressive, and Progressive's like, no, we're not going to cover the wrap. But yes, we're going to cover the wrap. But no, we're not going to cover that. Yes, we're going to. And the guy that I've been dealing with is a complete dick, like complete asshole. And he was like, well, we're going to go back and listen to the claims to find out if we actually said it was going to be covered. Well, yeah, he went back and listened to the claims and said it was going to be covered, and he didn't like that because then it proved like we've been telling the truth the whole time. And then he was like, we're just only going to pay $1,000. I was like, you mean you're going to pay me what I've already paid for in my insurance policy? Cool. Fucker. So that's a whole thing we're dealing on individually. And we've got separate content going out for that. And then also tagging all of the head honchos. We've done our research in regards to the company, who the CEO is, and then everybody else underneath. So that will be coming out. And the way of which you guys do business is horrific. Insurance agencies for everything need to change. Health insurance and any type of insurance needs to change. You guys are unacceptable. There's no words. I am literally speechless because every time you guys did something, you acted like you were doing me a favor, but I paid for everything that you guys did. You were like, oh, low $500 deductible. I already pay for that. Oh, we're going to give you $1,000 to cover the extra. We're only going to give you $1,000 to cover the wrap. I already pay for the $1,000 for the add-ons, which is the wrap for the Jeep. Like, none of this makes any sense. Like, you guys are jerks and dicks, and you guys just completely lied. Every time this guy said he was going to call me back, he never did. And then he never wanted to own up to the fact that and then so why he like, you want to talk about, you want to talk about ethics? Let's talk about your Jeep only being half wrapped. I'm like, yeah, I started the wrap removal process after we started the claim with y'all. Like, what? He's just, the guy's a complete dick. I can't stand him. And then he tried to lie and say he was going to send us to a supervisor, but it was actually
His employee.
his counterpart, his employee, or somebody underneath him that he tried to act like was his supervisor. Just a shady motherfucker. And I hope you listen to the podcast and I call you, and I have all your contact information. And it will be getting tagged in the content specifically driven for this shit show that you guys call insurance policy. So anyways, the Jeep is pink. She's wrapped. The wrap company who wrapped it.
Hang on. So the plot thickens. That was the insurance
Debacle.
yeah, that's just the part of the insurance conversation. Now we have phase 2 of bullshit. Go.
Phase 2 of bullshit. So we dropped her off with the
PDR.
PDR. Phenomenal company, by the way.
Mhm.
PDR is amazing. PDR company, and then moved down to the wrap company. Looks like this dude just took a degree in sticker applying. Like, he
I'm
sucks.
not sure that he can apply a fucking sticker.
Oh my god, the wrap look, just don't get close, okay? Like, just please don't get close. They left the doors open on the Jeep for so long while wrapping it, they killed the battery. The second thing that they did was they left the doors open and connected their phone to it, and then burned into the screen itself of the display. That's completely burned and etched in.
Not only that, they burn up the damn amp
The amp
from
is
leaving it on.
the amp is fried. So I've got two 12s in the back of my Jeep. She thumping, okay?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. That like
So the screen, that's probably 3,000.
I
Amp's
don't
probably
even
another
know.
grand. All of the screws are stripped out on every one
Yeah,
of the
so
hinges. So there's another $2,000 worth of rework.
they didn't know how to like there's a very particular way to take a Jeep apart. Well, and to that point, there is a toolkit specifically for Jeeps inside of the Jeep. Like, my toolkit never leaves. It's in the glove box and it's still there. He decided not to use it. He completely stripped out all of my on the hood, and on the hood they're stripped out. Like,
It'll make you throw up if you own a Jeep.
oh my god. You know exactly what I'm talking about if you own one. And then when they wrapped
None
it,
of the doors closed
none of my doors closed because they took the hinges off.
with the screws like on the outside. If you
Yeah,
own a Jeep, you know what we're talking about. They took the star
I wanna
screws
vomit.
out of the exterior,
You leave the hinges on.
not only of the doors, but the hood and the back door.
Oh god, the back door. Like, I'm pretty sure they've warped something on the back door because
The
the kids
entire
can't even
Jeep.
close the door anymore. Like,
I venture to say that this Jeep is now totaled.
oh my god, I am so upset. So upset. She went in.
Untotaled.
She was fine. The only thing she needed, like, we were like, cool, we'll get the wrap replaced, not a big deal. The PDR, like, the PDR company, like, and we saw it before it left there. Like, we
Mhm.
saw it before it left to the PDR place. Like, so it was fine. It wasn't the PDR company. It was this wrap company who has no business fucking wrapping Jeeps and doesn't know how to take them apart, and had my Jeep for months. And then I get in and I start taking pictures. There's parts of the wrap that are way overstretched.
Well, back up.
Mm,
So we go to pick the Jeep up.
because it's done.
Yeah, we were told it was done about 8 times. But we go to pick the Jeep up, and they wanna hold the Jeep hostage.
Oh, yeah.
So we called police department
I'm sitting in the Jeep inside the shop.
to ref it out while we're waiting on. I thought we were dealing with the owner, but we were waiting on the owner to show up.
He's not even an owner.
He's just a manager of this whatever Tefsil or whatever it is. Anyways, he comes. Before he shows up, the guy is trying to charge me almost $7,000 for this wrap that is incomplete. I tell him I'm not paying for it.
It's
I'll
awful. You
pay for a
guys,
finished
you
product,
guys
but I'm
have,
not going to pay for this. And then by the time his boss gets there, he's got the invoice down to $3,800, and I'm like, how do we go from seven to $3,800? And by the way, I've still not agreed to pay anything, but I didn't ask for the number to be dropped to $3,800.
mm-mm.
I said that I would pay for a portion of the work that's been complete because I'm willing to pay something to leave with my Jeep today.
Mm,
However, I'm not willing to pay the price in full in what you're trying to charge us because you did not deliver a complete product. Not
no,
only that, there is all of this damage all over the Jeep that I'm going to have to pay somebody else to fix.
right. And so now that we went and picked up the Jeep, and I'm starting to take pictures and I'm taking stuff apart, and like, their roll cage. So when you take the hardtop of your Jeep off, you can see the roll cage of a Jeep. So we had the roll cage matched to match
We
rat.
asked for the roll cage to be wrapped, only they didn't wrap the whole damn thing, just like they didn't wrap the entire Jeep pink. The fucking top of it is wrapped black because they ran out of pink, didn't communicate the fact that they were completely out of pink, and they stopped manufacturing this pink color so that there is no chance in hell they could get any more pink. That was not said. What was said was it was on back order.
Mhm.
The
We didn't
communication that I have is the stuff is on back
Mhm.
order. Not that it stopped being manufactured, which
Mhm.
the owner told us that it stopped being manufactured. Okay. When you order a project, order the whole fucking project plus some so that you know you can get it done. The problem is these people have never wrapped a Jeep before.
No.
And that should have been
Oh,
disclosed on the front side.
I missed my fucking doctor's appointment.
You sure did, didn't you?
Damn it.
You didn't set an alarm?
No. I never miss it. Oh well.
Is it right now?
It was at 9:50, 10 minutes late.
Mm.
I'll have to pay the no-show fee and reschedule.
Anyhow, these people have no business wrapping any vehicle.
No, they don't. The
Do not
application
take your vehicle to any place called Tefsil. And for all of you dealerships out there that I am aware that you guys are using this company, Tefsil, you might want to look a little closer.
horrific. Absolutely horrific. And
Very large dealerships. I'm talking about big money dealerships, Audi, Volkswagen, some
it
expensive
really
cars that they're touching.
it really bothers me that like my doors don't close. Like I refuse to even the doors on Jeeps are meant to come off and on, but since we've had the baby, I have not removed my doors
No,
because and to that when I was pregnant, I didn't take my doors off either. It's just a safety thing. Jeeps are such a safe vehicle, such a safe vehicle. The airbags that are in them and everything else, like doors on, such a freaking safe vehicle. Now, being pregnant and having an infant in a car seat in there, I'm not going to take my doors off. But now, like, I don't even feel comfortable putting Miles because my doors don't latch the way they're supposed to. They don't close. I have to lift up and then,
yeah,
like,
it's pretty stupid.
it's and then to look at it and go, she was perfect. I took immaculate care of this Jeep, guys.
This
Like,
thing's basically totaled. In my opinion, the Jeep is totaled.
I took such good care of her. Like, this was the very first car in my 30 something years age that I bought myself that was in my name. I took such good care of her. And I had all of the features in her that I loved, which was like, I've got the 212s in the back. She's got underglow lighting that I can switch up, like, so she glows underneath, like, to match whatever color the wrap is or whatever's like for parades or whatever. Cause
Yeah,
I would take her out to go do that kind of stuff or like to the Jeep or to the
off road park.
off-road park or even to the beach, whatever. Like I took such freaking good care of this thing. And then to get it back and like I just look at her and I'm like, what?
It looks like a 10-year-old took it apart.
It sounds like a 10-year-old took it apart driving it down the road.
I believe that.
And so here's the deal. Like now that we've been through the Jeep and we're looking at all of this, and we took so many pictures before we even left that shop. So we have all of this
We
imagery,
got a police report. We got
police
all the
report and
pictures.
everything. Yeah. Um, like they're refusing to give us their insurance because it needs to be
They're
filed.
refusing to even return a phone call.
Right. And so it's like the insurance needs to get filed so that the stuff can get fixed because here's the deal. They're not a body repair shop.
No, they're not.
And it needs to go to the dealership
It
who
actually
does
needs to go to a
fucking Jeeps.
dealership. Like we so back up to picking up the Jeep. They had to go get a battery because they drained the battery.
And I told them
A
that.
brand new battery
Yeah.
from the dealership.
Yeah.
Literally brand two both batteries in the Jeep. Jeep has two batteries.
Yes,
Both
they
of
do.
them are brand new.
Hmm.
Brand fucking new. I don't know what these two people were doing at this shop for the entire time of this Jeep being there.
I don't know. I don't
But
know.
it is quite ridiculous.
I'm just so sad because she was in such good condition.
And we'd even said just leave the wrap off. I can't tell you how many times I told that to the very first adjuster. Just leave it off. Just leave it off. The only way that I'm putting a wrap back on this Jeep is if it's 100% paid
This
for by
insurance
you
claim has
guys.
been a nightmare, an absolute nightmare.
Oh, and then today I get a phone call
Yeah.
from someone new.
Oh, from
This
the
will make person number 7.
yeah. Why do we need it? I thought the claim was done.
Yeah, me too.
So who are you and why do you need to talk to me?
Yeah. All they had to do was their job. The
It
insurance
makes me sick
companies
to my
fucking.
stomach to even think about because like
If the insurance company would have done their job to begin with and gone to the shop and periodically gone to the shop through the process of the wrap going on, it should have gotten caught there
yeah,
because that is their job is to check on it throughout the process.
right.
They could have caught it, redirected,
Yeah.
stopped whatever the hell was going wrong. Yeah, insurance companies are such a joke.
This wrap company has no interest in even being a wrap company.
I have no interest in them being a wrap company.
Yeah. But the damage to the Jeep that they've actually caused needs to be repaired.
I don't want them repairing it.
No,
Just they can use
no,
their money to repair it, but they are not touching it
no,
again.
they're not. The doors don't even like I had to even tell him to like attach the hinges. Like so on the Jeep there's the
There's still stuff missing
on the wrap or the doors.
on the Jeep.
Oh yeah.
Like it got returned without an antenna.
Oh, he said he lost it. He lost the antenna.
How do you lose the antenna? Like, and that makes
And
me
why
wonder
did you
how
even
many.
take it off?
There's no need for the antenna to come off.
No, there's not.
But what else is gone? Because you took the entire inside of the Jeep completely apart. So what half-ass got put back together in there?
That's what I told you. It sounds like a 10-year-old put it back together. And you know they took the top off, right? They took the
Oh
hard
yeah,
top off?
I've got pictures of it off. I've got pictures of this whole thing in pieces.
Oh my
Luckily, I
god.
do have those pictures.
Save them before somebody tries to delete them. I know that we have our pictures from
No,
when we
I've
went to go
got
pick it
backup
up.
from backup.
I know. It's so frustrating and saddening. Because, like I said, I took really good. She only has 70,000 miles on her, and she's a 2019. That's pretty freaking good. I feel like average, maybe. I don't know.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm, mhm, mhm.
uh, just saddening.
Yes, it is.
But she's pink.
Bright. Well, pink, black, white.
Yeah, been dealing with that. Been dealing with like just work life balance, trying to find time to work. It's nice to finally have 2 vehicles again, I will say that, 'cause the insurance company only, like, gave us a rental for a short period of time.
They said that they pay for 30 days of it.
No, they didn't.
That's what the
Yeah, I
guy that never called you back. Yeah.
think his name's Dustin. Whatever. Dumbass.
We pay for 30 days. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No. Nah, bruh.
Yeah. How have you been?
Been all right. You know, I lost about 25 pounds.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Actually, my body feels a little bit better.
Good.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
How'd you do it?
Well, you see, this guy once told me if you lick a raw chicken,
That is not what you did.
and you will shit yourself for days. And boy, was he right.
You did not like a raw chicken.
No. Well, maybe. Maybe something like that.
Mm.
I think I got food poisoning, but I don't really know. All I know is that I had massive diarrhea
Yeah.
for days.
You got
And
sick.
our son,
Both sons.
yeah, the baby son had diarrhea. The older son had vomiting. And so we all went to the doctor like every day.
I was
I
just,
went to the doctor every day
I was,
because I had to take them to the doctor.
hmm
And then it just got passed back and forth. And I got to get it over and over.
It seems like your immune system is a lot weaker than mine.
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. They don't know how to make it better.
I don't know either.
I
So
wish it was though.
we've just decided to like, we know our safe restaurants that we can eat at for eating out, and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's very, like, I'm talking, it's like two. There's two restaurants, and that's it.
And one of them is Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind.
No, I don't mind it either. But it's just so frustrating because just got to that point where I was like, look, I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm just so frustrated. I was, for one, I'm exhausted. Two, it's
You're
like,
exhausted. I'm tired of being sick.
right. I know. And it just, you're just beating your head against the wall. Just so, just done with it. Like, we only had one vehicle. Like, just life felt like it was just stacking. And it just makes you want to take a baseball bat to it. Like,
Yeah. Get out of my way.
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of positive things going on. Um, I don't care to really get into those positive things at the moment. You'll see them when you see them.
Yeah, I know.
So
How do you feel about the changes that I've been making with the boundaries with the kids?
I think it's very necessary.
How do you feel in our relationship about them?
What do you mean?
How do you feel about our relationship? Like, because you told me one of the things you were like, what happens if this doesn't go this? What happens if this doesn't go the right way? Or what happens if there's no improvement? Or like, like, you just seemed very, very worried. You just seemed really, I don't know what was going through your head. And I didn't question about why you asked that question. Just, I don't know.
So what's the question? If it's not why.
Yeah, like, it is why, I guess, but, like, why did you ask the question? And then I just feel like your words and your answers are just closed off. Is that because you don't, like, wanna share it with the world? Or is it because you're still processing it? Or I don't know.
You don't know?
Mm-mm.
Mm.
I don't wanna guess.
Yeah, guessing's not fun. It really isn't. I don't know that I really care to share it with the world.
Okay.
I don't know that it's really their business. Not that I don't mind being vulnerable with the world, but there are certain things that
Yeah,
I don't think we need to share with the world.
I got you. Makes sense. I'm not forcing you to. I just didn't know how much you wanted to share or not share or whatever.
No, we can talk about the boundaries. Like, I totally agree with literally having to put them in place because otherwise, every one of these children are walking all over both of us all day long, and we don't have control over our house. So, if
Mhm.
we don't have control over our house. what do we have control over?
Yeah. And I feel like and so, like, and with this whole conversation, if I say something that you don't want me to stop on, just say so. But with this whole boundaries thing with the kids, that's just been, like, the biggest thing in the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I guess, for myself, is I'm just like it was just, like, eating at my soul, like, gnawing on me, like, it just was weighing me down. And so, I was like, "I need to do the work. I need to figure this out. I just need to work on it. I need to do this." Because, like
It's not like it's something that we hadn't been talking about.
yeah,
It's just something that we hadn't executed.
no.
Mm, Not for lack of trying to execute it. We were trying to execute it in different ways
Mhm. Yeah.
because I truly believe we were trying to execute it,
Mhm.
but we were doing it, if you will, like this
Mhm.
instead of like this.
Together. Yeah. Yeah. And so I just got to the point where I was like, I don't know, like, therapy, I don't think was gonna cut it, like, because 'cause we've been doing that.
Well, there's so much. Let me tell you, people that have not gone to therapy, there is so much time that you have to get through before it's even time to start working on that.
Mhm.
That's probably the biggest frustration I have with therapy is you've got to work through all of this other bullshit. Even though you told your therapist, I want to work on this. You don't get to do that yet. You got to start over here with this pile of shit first.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So while I appreciate therapists, they're going to discard whatever the fuck you really want to work on right now.
Yeah.
They're going to put it over here,
Yeah.
and then they're going to put another big pile of shit in front of you and say, you're going to do this first.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Bingo.
So we needed to work on the other thing like now.
Yeah, we did. And it's really hard as a stepmom, bonus mom, whatever you wanna call me, extra mom, I don't really care, um, of making sure, like because I was the one who was upset. Like, I was the only one in this house who was having a problem. I was the only one in this house with these feelings. Everybody else in the house was completely fine with how life was going,
To a certain degree.
and I kept trying to tell people, like and kept trying to tell, like, obviously, children conversation and adult conversation, different level, different stuff. But I was trying to tell these people, like, trying to tell people around me, essentially, like, I wanted them to fix it. Like, "You're not doing" like, I kept having this, like, "Fix it, fix it, fix it." And I was like, "You know what?" "What?" "Oh, yeah, our video." I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna go through my bookshelf." So I went through my bookshelf and I found a book that I had actually read halfway through before, and I was like, "I'm finishing this damn book." And it was like I opened it up and it was speaking to my soul. I highlighted so much of that book,
You did
and
for many nights in a row.
yes, and went back and
Many, many nights.
and reread several chapters of that book because well, I enjoyed it. It was a really good book, and I was like, "Man, this is what I'm doing wrong. This is what I."
You did enjoy it. You're like, babe, 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 babe.
Yeah,
Listen to this.
yeah. Why are you
He
looking
was
at
all
me like
excited.
that?
I was all excited. Like
Yeah.
what?
Like, I was reading the book, like, reading it with the mindset of like, "Oh, man, I do that. Oh, I've done that. That's good." Like, it was I was open and honest with myself that I was doing things incorrectly,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's what made the world the difference in making the shifts in this home happen for all of the children that live with us so that everyone can be happy. But it's really hard as a stepmom because I live under a fucking microscope. Um and it's lonely and it's isolating because I don't like to take our problems outside of this relationship. 2, there's your side and then there's the children's side. And your side usually stays here, but the children's side leaves and goes to 2 different parties.
Mhm.
So, it's like I feel like I'm walking on eggshells in glass because eggshells don't hurt you, they're annoying, but when you walk on glass, you get injured.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was walking on glass making self-injury because I didn't know what to do. And it's so step parenting and stepmomming is so lonely and isolating because I know I'm trying my absolute hardest, but I was still so miserable on the inside. And trying to convey that to you, like, I still wasn't getting any understanding on how I was feeling. And so I was like, oh, there's, I guess, only 3 options. 1, I ignore it. 2, I go to therapy and fix it. Or 3, I leave. Like, that's really what I was faced with when I boiled it all down, because I didn't know where to go. Because going out and talking to somebody else about what's going on in our relationship doesn't help anything. Because ultimately, you're turning a friend into somebody who would not like you. Like,
Mhm.
like that's not what I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want my best friend or friend to be like, "Oh, I can't believe you would do that." Like, that's just not it. When I'm trying to basically use my best friend as a therapist, that's not what I that's not gonna work.
That's why they have therapists.
Exactly, exactly. Because your best friend's not gonna give you, unless your best friend's a actual therapist,
Which
they're
never
which never happens. They're not
they like
gonna
to think they are.
they're not gonna tell you like, "Hey, try this or read this book or, um, do XYZ, whatever." Like, they're not gonna have you do the work. They're just gonna be like, "Yes, girl. Oh, yeah. No, I can't believe that." Like, they're not gonna necessarily side with your partner or even give you advice on what to do. So, that's why I don't like it. I don't like doing it. It's not for me. So, that's why I felt lonely and isolated and, like, I can tell you my feelings, but I never feel like they were understood.
How do you feel now?
I feel like those feelings now are still there, that I still can't explain them to you, or that I can explain them to you, but you can't empathize with them because you just don't experience it like I do. And so instead of like continuing to harp on that and live in that turmoil, it's like, well, okay. So what could you do to not feel that anymore? So I feel now it's like I'm in a different mind space. Feelings are still there. Feelings are not going to go anywhere, but I'm in a different mind space to change how I feel about the feelings. Yeah. Because being a stepmom's fucking hard.
Being a parent's hard.
Agreed.
Stepmom, mom, whatever you want to call yourself. Being a parent's hard.
Agreed.
Especially with all of the different
Personalities,
personalities, mindsets. What's the other word? Emotions.
experiences, emotions, they are all in different phases of healing. They're
Yeah.
all in different phases of understanding.
Mhm.
They're all in different phases of what they're hearing from their other parents. So it's like I don't know. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't,
Pick a day, right? Why do we look
honestly.
so yellow?
So I was thinking we look orange, like we've been tanning. Cool. That's
Like
a cool color
not
vibe.
there, but there.
Mhm.
I'm gonna fix it while we're recording.
Okay. Goodness. Yeah, so I've been following this mom on TikTok. She came up. I've only seen her a couple times now, 3 times maybe, where she just talks about like she just said some things that really resonated with me, like try, but don't try too hard. Show up, but don't always show up. Like and then like do the work, but don't do too much work. And then don't like treat the child like your own, but don't treat the child like your own because they're not your own. Like it's just there's so many levels to this that people just don't get it until they live it.
You got that right.
And you're not going to have like and that's why I did the work because I was like I need to be a different parent for each one of these kids and I'm struggling with 2 of them right now, being the parent that I need to be for 2 of them. So I'm going to go fucking educate myself on how to be a parent better so that I can be the parent that they need because I can't expect my parenting to fit every one of our children. I just can't. I'd be stupid to think, oh, I only get to be one type of parent. No,
No.
that's not it.
So what is the saying?
What do you mean?
To treat everyone the same.
Oh, to treat everyone the same, you have to treat them different.
Who's got questions?
Right?
Who doesn't understand that statement?
It's true.
It is true.
Yeah, I treat them all different and they treat me different. Each one of them have a different way of interacting with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I guess maybe I just take it personal and I take being a parent to them so serious. I never thought I would ever be this parent that I am today on taking my level. I never thought I would be injured or hurt by parenting. Never thought.
Why?
I don't know. I just never did.
You didn't think it was likely that a child could hurt you?
No, I never in a million years had that thought roll past my head when I was like, I want to be a mom. I don't know.
I'm not saying not wanting to be a mom. I'm
I
just
know.
saying that there's
But when I decided I wanted to be a
got to be
mom,
some portion of you that knows I'm one of these little assholes is going to hurt my feelings.
no, I never, like, it just never dawned on me, honestly. And I was just like, I don't know. But that's my whole mindset on life is we just jump, right? Or I just jump. And like with this podcast, we just jumped. And so it was like with parenting, it was not like a huge, like, when I'm 40, how much trauma from rearing children am I going to have? Like,
Did you
no.
say rearing?
Yeah. I don't know. You and your eyebrows. Yeah. But and then to that, like, am I have is and then we put so much pressure on ourselves and probably because of social media, like, do they have enough good memories? Did I spend enough quality time for them? How much screen time did they have today? Do they have the life skills? Do they know how to make their bed? Do they know what a fitted sheet is? Do they know how to budget? Do they know how to find a job? Do they know how like all of these things?
Majority of to answer those questions, majority of the children do know how to do majority of those things.
I agree.
But it's because they learned it in this house.
Mhm.
Or they learned it with one of us out doing things.
Mhm.
Because they're getting life lessons taught to them.
Yes.
And they're not being sheltered to a point where when they turn 15, 16, 17, they're not going to be stuck in having to, mommy, daddy, drive me here. Mommy, daddy, drive me there. No, they're going to be driving on their own
Yeah.
because they want to.
Mhm. Yeah.
Not because they have to, because they want to. They want to be functioning
Well,
adults.
like for us, for instance, okay, so we were at the ball game and there was this family in front of us, and she was like, "I never thought I would trust my 6-year-old with a debit card or my credit card." And I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, man, I should tell her about green light. Like, because that's what we use
Oh, yeah.
for our kids. But like even our 10-year-olds, when they were 9 and I think almost even 8, we gave them those cards because we wanted them to learn what it was like to do a transaction at the register. Like, we wanted them to be like, this is how you go and you ring up your items. This is how you go and you
And manage
pay
the money on the
on the
cards.
card. This is your app to check your balance. And, and so they would shop and then they would have the experience of like, I don't have enough money. I need to put items back. Like they understood. And so like there was only just a couple experiences of going, I don't have enough money before they were like, started going like, hey, I should probably get my calculator out and calculate this up before I get to the
Yep.
register and I have that embarrassing experience of I don't have enough money. Like those are real life experiences we've delivered to our children at the age of 9.
Yeah.
So that's just,
Does anybody know who Sean Wallen is?
I don't know who that is now.
All right. I encourage everybody to look up Sean Wallen on Facebook and just go through his Facebook profile and read some of the stuff about how even this gentleman teaches his children, because he goes into it almost if not daily, weekly,
Mhm.
about how you should raise your kids,
Mhm.
um, but also how he raises his kids.
Mhm.
Same thing. Take your boys fishing, take your boys hunting, take your boys out into the wilderness, teach them how to hunt, fish, fend for themselves, and be able to capture food
Mhm.
if necessary.
Mhm.
Like teach the boys to be men.
Mhm.
Do the same thing with your daughters.
Mhm.
Take them out, do those same exact things. Take them out into the wilderness, show them how to do X, Y, and Z,
Mhm.
because no one else in this world is going to teach your kids to do this stuff.
Mm-mm.
It is only us. We are only people that have the capability to teach our kids how to be adult survivors in this world.
Yes. Yeah.
So deliver it to them now. And I'm not saying now at 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. I'm saying by the
But you
time
can
they're
still
8, 9, 10, you should be introducing all of these things into their life.
well, even before then, I think at 5 and 6, like, you can even take them out on an experience that's on their level. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to go like,
Well, now if they're
the sooner I think you expose them, the
like there
better
are
you are.
children, and because I'm into the things that I'm into,
Yeah.
it's different. But a lot of people aren't into those types of things.
Right.
And so the children don't get young experiences like that.
No.
They might get one experience with their dad
Right.
that might be something like that. And it
Yeah.
might be just a fishing experience or a hunting experience or
Right.
an outdooring experience, whether it's just camping, you know. They may not even get the hunting or the fishing. They just may get a camping experience.
Right.
And is that really a camping experience? Because who all really has been real camping?
Right.
Most people know of glamping,
Right.
getting a cabin or
True story.
going and renting an RV or
Right.
whatever that is.
Right.
But I think they're good life lessons to teach your children how to do it the hard way.
Right.
Literally skin an animal, skin a fish, put the effort into cooking it on a campfire.
Yeah.
Like show your kids the bare necessities of life.
Right. Yeah. True that.
And that
Where
will make them appreciate all the other things.
right. And like for us in our house, as far as our kids go, like they're responsible. We have chore sectors, and we draw them. Like, and each child is responsible for the sector, and there's a checklist, and their bedroom and their laundry. And then if their bedroom and then whatever chore sector they've got is not done to the checklist, there's consequences, right?
Mhm.
But it's like, you get a roommate, you need to know how to take care of, like, your space. Like, granted, you don't live with a roommate, nobody's gonna give a shit how you live. Nobody's gonna care.
You should take enough pride in keeping your place clean, so
Right.
whenever you do have company, it's like you're not embarrassed.
Right. Yeah. And, like, it's just there's it's just
Self
yeah.
pride,
Yeah.
have some.
Yeah. And then getting them to where they can communicate, like, a need that they've got or a want that they've got, because that is okay. That is okay. It's just you've gotta have the confidence in the fact to communicate it.
Yeah,
In getting them to communicate that they have a want or a need of, like, "Hey, I need a new loofah," or "We're out of shampoo and conditioner," or whatever. I don't shower in your shower.
yeah,
I'm not nor am I responsible for cleaning your bathroom or shower, so I do not know if you are out of an item. That is your responsibility if you have a want or a need to vocalize that so it goes on the grocery list. And so, like, that's been a new challenge that we've
yeah.
stumbled upon, because we enabled the fact of, "Here you go." Like, they didn't have, and I didn't realize until reading my book that that's a bad thing, because
Yeah.
they have to learn how to vocalize a want or a need, and I was like, "Shit." Like, I
And it's
never
all bad things because we've allowed this to exist.
this being a phone.
Yes. And so how are they going to vocalize when they don't know how to? All they know how to do is go like this.
Mhm.
And they don't have to vocalize. They're
It's
texting.
because mom and dad are mom and dad, and we've been through life, and so it's just like, "Oh, hey, it's been 6 weeks, it's time to restock shampoos and conditioners and blah, blah, whatever."
Mhm.
Like, no. Like, you need to, and so to that, now we've got a running grocery list on the counter, and it's like, you don't have deodorant, you don't have toothpaste, you can go write it down. Like, that's another life skill of,
Oh my god, I need something.
did you write it down?
Right. It's pretty easy.
Yeah. So it's just a lot of things that I didn't realize that I was doing because I am such a good mom, that I thought I was doing a good thing by just delivering because I pre knew what their needs were.
Yeah.
But it was a bad thing because
You're doing it for them.
then they just expect it to show up. And then when they go out to the real world and they sit down on the
Well, they have a
couch,
chip on their shoulder because it didn't show up.
right. And so then they go into a marriage or a relationship and they're like, "What do you mean you didn't know I needed toothpaste?" Well, did you vocalize it? Like, did you tell me you were out of toothpaste? Like,
No, you're supposed to read my mind. I threw it in the trash
yeah,
when it was empty. You
yeah,
didn't see me throw it in the trash? I mean,
right.
gosh, what is
Yeah.
wrong with you?
But that's what happens if you don't step back and take some analysis from this whole latter half of this podcast. Is, are you on autopilot because you know your kids so well that you know what they need? Like, or are you giving your children the space to analyze what they need and to then ask?
I'm going to go with 90% of the people are on autopilot,
Yeah,
if not a higher percentage.
right. Exactly. So, just some things that I've learned about making sure my kids are adults for going out into the world.
Yeah, well, from this point forward, except for our toddler, they're all about to slingshot into all these different things that we're not going to, for lack of a better word, have time to go back and do the skill sets of the bare minimum stuff. So there's a very, very, very thin timeline that I believe that we have as parents to introduce all the things that I just talked about, like hunting, fishing,
Mhm.
and having those moments with your children that they actually take something away from it.
Mhm.
that they'll actually be able to use in life later.
Mhm.
Not saying that obviously while they're growing up to continue doing those things with them, but I'm saying what are they going to actually take in, be a part of? And if you're an outdoors person, you go out, you're outdoors every weekend or multiple times a month or whatever that is, that's great because those children are probably going to be more reactive and susceptible to the things that are going on in those
Right.
situations. But if you're the type of person that gets in the woods or whatever once a year, every 2 years, whatever, then obviously you have less and less time that you're spending with those kids in those situations. So our kids, our youngest, are 10,
Mhm.
you know, and say we didn't do anything this year. We went hunting, went bird hunting. That's all I really had time to do. I only went one day.
Yeah.
Um, Normally I would have gone at least 5 to 7 times dove hunting and then duck hunting the same, turkey, right into um, deer hunting,
Mhm.
and just haven't had time to do all of those things
Right.
with everything else that we have going on in life. But I've had those experiences with my son, and not that that is enough because I think there should be more. But he knows gun safety. He knows how to skin an animal. Doesn't like to do it, but he knows how to do it. He can clean a bird. He can clean an animal. He can skin a fish. He can catch a fish. He's never actually shot a deer, but if he had to, I know that he probably could.
Mhm.
He knows the logistics of setting up either a crossbow or a gun
Mhm.
and putting the crosshairs on the target at
Mhm.
whatever distance is needed. So those things have been taught to him. And I truly think that those things have soaked in. And we have another son that I want to do that with as well. So it's just certain things in life like that. I'm not saying just those things, but I think it's important that our children learn really fundamentals of life.
Yeah.
So many kids won't.
No, they won't.
All they'll learn is whatever's on this phone
They're gonna and
and whatever they have on TikTok.
we're reaching the time lane where we need to, like, pause or stop and, like, hit another one because I feel like we've hit a stride, but, like, they're gonna watch and live somebody else doing it because somebody else is gonna so that's content to somebody
Oh
else
yeah.
versus an experience. So, they're watching somebody else's experience that person has turned into content,
Yeah.
and so that's why they feel that is why our children feel fulfilled because they are still getting it, right? But they're not getting it firsthand.
They're not doing it themselves.
They're
So
not.
it's minor fulfillment
Mhm.
at best.
Yep. Yeah. It's it's something else that just like I our children are living off of other people's experiences because they've turned it into content.
And I'm not mad about it. It's not like that's not what we do. I mean,
No, yeah. No, I totally get it. I'm just saying that's like if you're not careful, that's all your child will get.
yeah, we and back to the parents, you have to monitor what your child's intake is. Like, are you allowing your kids to have this up their ass 24/7?
Mhm.
Do you monitor what goes on this? I know majority of you do not,
No.
and I don't think it's safe.
There's a lot of it that I believe is not and I know it's
Hell,
not safe.
it's not safe for us.
No. It's gross.
It is gross.
Yeah.
It's very sickening, actually.
Mhm.
The things that come across my phone daily and yours.
we don't hide it from each other as well. Like, I do get stupid, nasty, gross men who are very well aware of the fact that we are in a relationship, but still have the audacity to be like, and I open them and slide my phone across to you. I'm like, I send it to you. I'm just like, I'm don't and I even feel like if I delete it before I show you, I'm hiding something, even if I don't respond.
Yeah.
It's weird how I feel like I'm hiding something if I delete it,
There's
even
just
though
so
I'm
many
not
that come
responding to
through,
it.
and don't expect to see everything or hear about everything that comes on your phone. I know you don't on mine either. There's just so much shit that comes through your phone, and there's so much that both of us do throughout the day that it may not get brought up because conversations that we have are much more important than talking about that.
Yeah. Yeah. But we do show each other things that come across our phone that we're just it's just not okay.
No, it's not.
It's not okay. These people who are using the internet to exploit people is horrendous. And it's gross.
It's both men and women. It's not just men. It's not just women.
Right.
It's both
Yeah.
men and women.
Yep.
And it is fucking disgusting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, check your kids' phones.
Yeah. Install an app called Bark.
Mhm.
That's the
I
only one that I know of right now.
highly recommend Bark. A lot of people recommend Bark. A lot of, um, agencies, I think is the word I was looking for, recommend it.
Yeah. Well, until next time, we're going to wrap this one up. So,
Fade me out, baby.
well, before we do that,
Oh.
I want to thank everybody
Oh,
that's been watching us.
yeah.
And we've got another channel that I'm going to start working on a little bit more. Um, that's going to address some other things. So, whenever I start working on that, I'll let you guys know where to find it.
It'll be a partner channel.
Yeah. I'll let you know where to find it. So, again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Yep.